Hey, going Stay Off Grid here. Just a quick video on changing the vacuum tubes out of my Hughes and Kettner GrandMeister 40 Deluxe. Alright, so I've got these JJ Electronics vacuums. So the Hughes and Kettner comes with Chinese valves or Chinese vacuum tubes, and these ones are made in Slovakia, yeah. And I don't think many places make them anymore. And it's probably eventually nobody will make them. All right, there's two reasons that I'm going to change them. Firstly, the amps just stopped working. There's lights on the back, but I don't understand them, and I think there's only two valves working, two vacuum tubes working, and I'm not 100%. But I did want to go to these better quality, better sounding vacuum tubes anyway, so I'm going to do it and see what happens, whether it fixes it or it doesn't. Now, I didn't show actually putting the tubes in, and it is a bit tricky. There's just springs to lift up and lift over the top of them, and the other ones have springs on them. But to get them in, the pins can only go in one way, but it's a really, really tight fit, so you just got to be really, really careful. And to get them out, you've got to wiggle them out, wiggle side to side, wiggle back to front, wiggle side to side, wiggle back to front, and it'll come out eventually. And then it's kind of the same process to put them back in. So I didn't do it on video. I couldn't do it. I was actually sitting on my bed doing it, so I couldn't sit the camera there. Anyway, here's how to get the thing back together. So I've taken the cover off. You basically unscrew 6 screws on one end. On the other end, you can just unscrew. Actually, you only have to unscrew the bottom 2. You can leave the top 2 in, and you can leave the middle 2 in, and then you just need to slip it back on. Alright, so you just slip that cover back on, and then on this end you can screw. The easiest way is to try and do the bottom one. So I've got the bottom 2 in, and now I'm going to do the middle 2 and then the top 2. Okay, so the screws are back in there. Now just remember that these screws on the handle have a little washer, little compression type washer, and also that there's a short screw which is in the front. The long one screws onto the back cover, so it's the long screw. These are all long, the top and the bottom, and they've got no washer. That's exactly the same for the other end. So the back one has a washer and is longer. Front one has a washer and shorter. Top and bottom same. Now, I just watched a video of a guy working on an amp similar to this, and what he said was the number one thing that you have to remember when you're changing tubes and you're opening up the amp, he said, number one thing is don't touch anything with 2 hands. Just use one hand. That way, if you get an electric shock, it doesn't go across your heart into the other arm, or, from one arm to the other arm and across your heart. Now, that's the number one thing he says. And he said it about 3 or 4 times during that video. The number one thing is to pull the bloody power cord out. What are you thinking? I don't know what he's thinking. That's some great advice, that is. Just in case you get electrocuted, only be touching it with one hand and have rubber shoes on. Or disconnect the bloody power cord. And so I've done a little bit of fault finding, which I should have done in the first place, come to think of it now, because the other tubes weren't bothering me. Just pretty stupid on my part, really. Anyway, it's the cabinet. The cabinet's not working, so I just switched it into a little speaker over here, and it works fine. So I just spent a whole lot of money on tubes for nothing. Oh well, you learn from your mistakes. I'm Stay Off Grid. Hope you enjoyed the video.